They'll crown the family names, they'll spotlight the dynasties, but what about the man who built his legacy from nothing? For over a decade, Jeff Cobb has been tossing bodies, breaking backs, and dominating across the globe. And yet, he does not get the respect he deserves. It's time to change that. Jeff Cobb is a Pacific Islander, but he is not part of the Fatu dynasty that wrestling fans are so familiar with. In 2004, he represented Guam in the Olympics as a freestyle wrestler. Now, Cobb didn't bring home any Olympic medals, but let's not get it twisted. Just qualifying for the 2004 Athens Games is an achievement most athletes can only dream of. From here, he transitioned into pro wrestling, carrying that legitimacy everywhere he went. Now check this out. Jeff Cobb has the perfect resume. He's been everywhere. Lucha Underground, New Japan, Ring of Honor, PWG, MLW, AEW, and more. He's wrestled all over the world across different styles and audiences, and somehow, after all of that, he's still underrated. Who knew he had all these accolades? I know I didn't. For a man with this much talent, being underrated almost feels criminal. These 5 matches make the case for why Jeff Cobb belongs in the spotlight. From his power to his conditioning, from his versatility to the way he adapts on any stage. Now, before we dive into these matches, let's clear up a few points of confusion. Because if you only follow WWE, some of these names and titles might throw you off. There's the G1 Supercard, which was a one-time super show in 2019 where Ring of Honor and New Japan teamed up and ran Madison Square Garden during WrestleMania weekend. That's where Cobb had one of his biggest US moments. Then there's the G1 Climax, which is New Japan's yearly brutal tournament. The G1 is weeks long. Every wrestler fights multiple matches. Matches are on a point system. You've got to wrestle 20 to 30 minute matches against killers night after night and still have enough left in the tank to survive. Winning the G1 Climax is a career-defining achievement. Also important to note, indie shows are much smaller promotions. New Japan Pro Wrestling? That's a whole different world. It can go toe-to-toe with WWE. With that cleared up, let's break it down. The G1 Supercard was historic, the first non-WWE wrestling show in decades to run the Garden, and it sold out. Jeff Cobb walked in representing Ring of Honor as the television champion. Across the ring stood Will Ospreay, New Japan's aerial assassin, holding the never openweight championship. Both belts were on the line. The clash of styles couldn't have been better. Ospreay flying around like a video game character, and Cobb grounding him with raw Olympic-built strength. On one of the most important stages in wrestling history, Cobb proved he could deliver a world-class match and leave as a double champion. Now let's go from Madison Square Garden to the Tokyo Dome. Wrestle Kingdom is like New Japan's WrestleMania, the biggest night of the year in Japan. And Jeff Cobb made his mark against Shingo Takagi. Shingo at this point was carrying New Japan on his back. He'd become champion during a tough period for the company. Cobb delivered. This was 2 bulls colliding in the center of the ring. And even though Shingo walked out as the winner, that match cemented him as more than a mid-carder. Now, this is the match where we talk about the G1 Climax. In 2021, Jeff Cobb had a career run in the G1. He went undefeated in his block until the very last night. The final match against Okada. Okada is the man who defines the company. Cobb came in with momentum, tossing people around all tournament long. The story was simple. If Cobb beats Okada, he advanced to the finals. And for much of the match, it felt like he was going to do it. He overpowered Okada, he countered the Rainmaker, he hit suplexes that shook the ring, but in the end, Okada pulled it off. The ace survived. Cobb's undefeated streak ended right there. And yet, that loss elevated Cobb because going 8-1 in the G1 is no joke. Let's take a break from Japan and go to California. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG, is an indie darling. The crowd is loud, rowdy, and unforgiving. If you're good, they'll chant your name. If you're bad, they'll let you know instantly. In 2018, Cobb absolutely just ran through Bola. He won the tournament. The final was a three-way: Cobb, Bandito, and Takagi. Cobb pinned Bandito to claim the crown. Winning Bola matters. PWG has been a launchpad for countless stars: Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, the Young Bucks, Ricochet. By winning Bola, Cobb cemented himself as one of the best indie wrestlers in the world. Finally, we can't forget Jeff Cobb's time in Lucha Underground. Under the mask as Matanza Cueto, he played the monster of the show, this unstoppable force. When Matanza debuted in Aztec Warfare, he destroyed nearly half of the roster, and his showdown with Pentagon Jr. was one of his best highlights. Pentagon was beloved by the fans. Cobb threw him around, slammed him every which way, and turned the match into a massacre. Now, Matanza could have been a downright cheesy fail, but Cobb brought that character to life. To this day, some fans don't even know it was Jeff Cobb under that mask. We've got to stop acting like Jeff Cobb is just another guy. He's not. Receipts are scattered across the globe, and it's time you put some respect on his name. After everything this man has accomplished, you'd think WWE would present him like a once-in-a-generation athlete. Instead, they hid him in the background of the Bloodline story. WWE isn't really highlighting his Olympic pedigree, his 30-minute wars in the G1, his moment at the Madison Square Garden. All fans see is what WWE shows them. Just another guy. Fans are even hitting Cobb with the but clearly, that couldn't be further from the truth. At the end of the day, Jeff Cobb doesn't need WWE's stamp of approval. And while WWE dropped the ball, gorgeous gang, you now know the truth. Jeff Cobb is undeniable, and it's time to put some respect on his name. Gang, tell me something in those comments. Like and subscribe.